Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Express Frame. If you want something framed for the holidays, good luck finding a place that's still taking orders, unless you go to the place I've been telling you about for years and years and years. That's the professionals at Express Frame in the Common Shopping Center on North Peters Road. Now look, we are getting close to Christmas. They are going to close that open door at some point. So if you've got something you need framed for the holiday, you got to do it now. Get in touch with them. The fact that they're still doing it makes them the only group in town still doing it. Express Frame, expressframe.net to learn more. They are off Peters Road, Commons Shopping Center, and they do spectacular work. All right, we just looked at the schedule there. Is it possible that Tennessee takes a step back record-wise, yet still makes progress as a program? Now, tune out the noise, because there's no way. If you win 7 or less next year, if you don't take a step forward and make linear progression, fans will say, this guy is a bum, get rid of him. But is it possible for this program to take a step forward if you do take a step back record-wise next year?
I would say highly unlikely, but I wouldn't say impossible, because I don't know what your roster's going to look like. I don't know whether Hendon Hooker's coming back. Maybe you have 45 injuries. I don't know. But on the surface, based on what we know on this Sunday, I'm going to say the answer is no to that, because I don't think it's likely to happen again. But if you don't have an equal record next year, I don't see how you would say that's progress.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say no as well, because while I'll stand by, I think Tennessee's done a good job with recruiting considering the circumstances. I can't envision recruiting getting much better, which it needs to, if you don't get better results on the field. I think recruiting is going to be a real problem if you have bad results. And then I can't turn the noise all the way down. This place has a way of the mood souring quickly. And if it's 6-6 or worse, it's going to be a bad mood.
I'm going to say no. Say no as well. It's hard when you're talking about we're not exceeding or at the same level at the 7-5 and saying we got better. I think the only way that happens is we go back to it, the R word, recruiting. If you got a bunch of young guys that we picked, we kept in the state, or we got some high-profile guys, we've thrown them into action, they're seeming to get better at the end of the year against tough competition, then you can say, you know what, I think going forward we're going to be better. If we're not at that level, then I don't think you can say yes to that.
Will?
I think the only way you'd be able to say that is if you're 7-5 is you lose to probably somebody you shouldn't, but then you step up and you beat an Alabama or a Georgia. Then all of a sudden somebody's going to say, they'll give you a pass of you lost that one, but now you've showed you can play with the top echelon. That's how you could say, did we take a step forward in people's minds to be able to actually take that advantage of that?
Yeah, you almost have to, if you do what I'm about to say, if you start slow and then finish hot, the old, remember what you do in November, if you're beating Georgia, that's the one that needs to do it. If you beat Florida and lose to Georgia, the Florida game will be forgotten. Right. All the joy of beating Florida will be forgotten. I would say it's not impossible, and here's why. Coach goes 6-6. I'm sorry, Coach goes 6-5. Then he goes 6-6. Then he wins 7 games. Then he goes back to winning 6 games. Then he wins 9 games. Well, that's Nick Saban at Michigan State. Mm-hmm. So I don't look at it and say, if he doesn't win 8 next year, the verdict's in, he's a loser, and the program's going backwards. I think it's possible to make progress even if you don't show it in the record next year. You're going to have recruiting get better. You're going to have some, what are we seeing behind the scenes in terms of culture and everything else. But I think you can make progress even if the number goes backwards.
The problem is this place eats its own. And I mean, let's just be straight up and down around it. I mean, this place just will churn and burn you, and that hurts you in recruiting. Closing down a state is hard to do, and every one of the UT fans, or a good percentage of what those players hear, is we're going to fire this coach too in the next few days. That's why you've got to show some progress and win, because the crazy will come out and it'll start putting cancer out there into the recruiting world.
It comes out in a lot of places. That's Florida better watch it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, they've got to watch it too.
Will, Marlon, Josh, Jimmy, thanks, guys. I appreciate you being in here this morning.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it.
Thanks for watching. We will see you next week right back here live for the Sports.